A hearty welcome to all of you, dear viewers. Your support keeps this content free and no tipping is necessary. We appreciate your time and enthusiasm in joining us on this journey. Today, we delve into a hot topic that affects us all: tipping in America. Are you a tip creep or do you suffer from tip irritation? Well, you are not alone. Nearly 1/3 of Americans believe that tipping culture has gotten out of control, according to a recent Bankrate report. It appears that consumers today face more opportunities to tip for a wider range of services than ever before, a trend that's been coined as tip creep. However, it seems like this surge in tipping isn't being embraced with open arms. Quite the contrary. Recent surveys indicate that shoppers are experiencing what's now being referred to as tip fatigue, and they're starting to tip less, while resenting tipping prompts even more. Michael Lin, a professor of consumer behavior and marketing at the Cornell University School of Hotel Administration, suggests that these terms may be understating the situation. It's more than fatigue, it's irritation. It's not tip creep, it's tip gallop, he adds. Moreover, 2/3 of Americans have a negative view about tipping, particularly when it comes to contactless and digital payment prompts with predetermined options that can range between 15 and 35% for each transaction. You have to go out of your way to not tip, and that's what a lot of people resent, said Ted Rossman, Bankrate's senior industry analyst. A report by NerdWallet further supports this sentiment, revealing that many feel the pressure to tip has increased over the last year. So it seems that many Americans are growing weary of the pressure to tip, but what about the other side of the coin? We'll dive into that next. On Reddit, a vibrant discussion reveals the complexity of the tipping situation. The American tipping system, it appears, is a delicate balance that many find unappealing, yet difficult to escape. Businesses, for instance, rely on tipping as a way to offset wage costs. If tipping were abolished, they'd need to shell out more for staff salaries. Wait staff, on the other hand, generally prefer tipping. Despite its unpredictability, tips can yield much more than a standard minimum wage. Not to mention, it rewards those who can efficiently serve multiple groups, adding an element of meritocracy to the mix. Now let's turn to the consumers. Tipping isn't exactly their favorite practice, but they understand its implications. Not tipping isn't an act of rebellion against the system, but rather a blow to the workers' pockets. And that's not something most people want to do. People not native to this system often find it bizarre, and understandably so. But their aversion to the practice shouldn't result in penalizing the workers. If the tipping system is a deal breaker, they might choose to avoid American restaurants altogether. Clearly, the issue is multifaceted and not easily resolved, but could there be other ways to look at this? An article from Eater presents a compelling case against tipping. It points out that good service isn't dependent on tipping. Countries across the globe, from Europe to Japan, offer excellent service without expecting a tip. In fact, Japan, a country with no tipping culture, is often praised for its superior service in every sector. The article also highlights a darker side of tipping. It facilitates tax evasion. The IRS estimates that approximately 40% of tip income doesn't get reported, a clear indication of the system's flaws. Perhaps most striking is the arbitrariness of who gets tipped and who doesn't. Yes, waitstaff work hard and often rely on tips, but so do fast food workers who seldom receive tips. This inconsistency in who we decide to tip is another reason to question the system. With all these points in mind, it begs the question, could it be time to rethink tipping in America? I say a huge yes. How about you? Well, let's consider this. Many countries don't require tips and still offer superb service. It's mainly just North America that insists on this practice, while Europe often includes service charges. Even Japan, with arguably better service, has no tipping. Moreover, tipping can facilitate tax evasion, with the IRS estimating that 40% of tip income goes unreported. And who we tip can be quite arbitrary. So is tipping bad because it has negative effects, and because it doesn't even achieve the positive effects it was meant to? Let me know your thoughts. I believe service should either be included in the base price or in a fixed service charge. The only reason why waiters are getting low wages in many restaurants is that their employers assume they'll get tipped. The only reason why we're still tipping is that people still think it's the ethical thing to do when in fact it has no benefit whatsoever. So is it time to question the status quo? Well, even if you don't agree with tipping, remember to always choose kindness and do something kind today. For yourself, or even better, someone else. Join the conversation and let's explore together if tipping in America is indeed overrated. Thank you for watching. Have a rad day.